So another type of interest that we were going to talk about is compound interest, which is interest earned not only on the principal, but also on the interest that's already been earned. So simple interest was calculated one time and it was only calculated off of your principal amount. Compound interest gets calculated on your original principal and then any interest that's also accrued. So if you have an account that is compounded annually, at the end of the first year or at the end of every year, they're going to recalculate your account balance with new interest, including the interest amount that was already accrued. So here's like an example for you. So you borrow $1,000 and the interest rate is 10%. So you'll see that after the first year, if you look at the table, at the end of the first year, they're going to add $100 of interest on that loan. Well, now when they calculate for year two or the second, after that first year for the second year, they're taking that new balance and calculate interest on that amount. That kind of somewhat becomes like your new principal for in some ways. And at the end of that year, it's $1,210. And then it just keeps going. And every year they recalculate it with the interest already included. So that at the end of the 5 years, you'll see that $1,000 is now a balance of $1,610.51. So that means that you're accruing $610.51 in interest over 5 years and that adds up way faster than simple interest. Now, this is if it's compounded annually. Credit cards are one of the biggest compound interest loans, and credit cards are compounded monthly. So at the end of every month, whatever your balance is, they calculate your new interest amount and your new account balance. And if you don't pay off your account balance, then whatever interest was calculated the month before gets calculated again and again and again. And it just keeps adding up. And that's how people get themselves stuck in credit card debt, because it's really hard to get out of once you kind of get in that hole, because every month it's getting recalculated on the amount that you borrowed and the interest that you already have to pay. So the compound interest formula is different this time. So it's capital A equals principal times 1 plus the rate to the raised to the t power. Okay, your rate is still going to be a percentage written as a decimal, and time is still going to always be in years. The principal is still the amount that you invest or borrow. The difference this time is that when you get your answer, it's the account balance with interest included. When we did simple interest, we got the interest amount that had to be added or to an account or to the principal. This time, it's already done for you. So you're getting your account balance, interest included, which means if they're just asking you for your interest amount, you have to do a little bit of extra work for that. So let's start with our first example. And we're just going to do some simple ones to start. So here's our principal is $800 at a rate of 5%. And since it doesn't say differently, we're going to just assume that these are all annually over 3 years. So you substitute your values in. Remember, it's going to be your rate is going to be written as a decimal. Okay, and then luckily the time is already in years. You can use a calculator to calculate all of this. I don't expect you to do this by hand. Just remember that if it's always exponents before multiplication, right? So you're going to raise this to the third power and get a long decimal, which you can shorten and you can round it. Just don't round it too short. I like to go with 4 decimal places. And then after that, you finish up and you figure out that the account balance is $926.10 after 3 years. In this example, we have a principal of $1,350 at a rate of 3.2% over 8 years. So you substitute your values and then you just solve. And you'll get an account balance of $1,736.89. So after 8 years, the account that had $1,350 now has $1,736.89 if it was compounded annually. Okay, and then in our last example that we're going to go over, we're going to do a little bit of problem solving here. You deposit $700 into a savings account that earns 2% interest annually. Find the amount of interest earned in the account after 4 years, and you're going to round to the nearest cent. So you're just going to calculate like normal. The difference is here, it's asking us for the amount of interest earned. So we got our account balance, and now to calculate our interest, we're going to take our balance minus our principal. And we'll see that the difference is $57.70, which means our interest earned was $57.70 over 4 years on this account.